Welcome back, Stoner Squad, and of course a big welcome to all those new to the channel. My name is DanIsStoned, and thank you for joining me today to start something that I really am looking forward to showcasing to you guys. And it's a game that I've been incredibly addicted to since I got my hands on it, and it is Going Medieval. Now, it's been out since the beginning of the month, so I think it got released on the 2nd of June exactly, but don't quote me on that. But ever since it's been released, I have been hooked on this game. I can't stress how addicted I am to it. I've put quite a few hours in it, to be honest. Probably too many, and the girlfriend is probably a bit angry with me, but I couldn't help myself. But anyway, what is Going Medieval in essence? Well, it is a colony simulator game with survival elements, and honestly, it is just so damn good. And it's in early access, so of course there is going to be like further updates down the line. There's a roadmap, and you can actually go and check it out online, or if you've got the game, you can like kind of go and check it out through here, and it will kind of show you the stuff they're going to be adding to it. And honestly, for an early access game, the game is already really damn good, I have to say. And the biggest comparison I can give this game is RimWorld. It's like medieval RimWorld, and that is the biggest comparison I can literally give this. And I am not kidding. When I mean this game is highly addictive, it is highly addictive. And once you start playing, you don't go back. So be warned, if you do choose to try this out, and I do highly recommend it. I don't normally recommend early access games. I like to showcase them to you just to show you what it is, so you can actually get it onto your radar, and then if you want to kind of get it down the line, then by all means go ahead. But I cannot recommend Going Medieval enough. It really is super cool. But anyway, enough of me blabbering on, so let's get straight in. So, new game, and of course as you go in you have like 3 different options. So standard, peaceful and survival. Your standard mode is basically the normal experience you're going to have. Now, you do have to build up your kind of settlement, survive the conditions for the different seasons, and then raids will occur at steady intervals, so you need to defend raids and stuff. And then you've got the peaceful, which is basically the free builder mode, where you have no attacks, and you can just kind of build your own base and build your own settlement castle or whatever, without having to kind of worry about any enemy attacks. And then you have the survival mode, which is hardcore, and raids appear frequently in this mode, and of course you start in the dead of winter, which makes it more complicated, because the survival element to this game is honestly pretty damn cool as well, and you'll see as soon as we get in. But we're going to go peaceful standard mode here. Not peaceful, sorry, we'll go for standard mode, because it's the kind of normal experience. Normal difficulty as well, don't want to kind of go too hard. Now, you do have 2 scenarios to choose from. So, A New Life is the kind of default one, where you start off with 3 settlers. I think down here you start off with 3 settlers, a set of equipment, and some resources to help you kind of start out. And you start off in spring, which is a fairly mild climate, and it's really easy to start off with. You have then Lone Wolf, which is way harder. You start in winter, and you have less resources, you have less equipment, and you only start with 1 settler, which makes it a little bit more kind of tricky. But then there's also a cool thing where you can actually do your own scenario, where you can kind of manipulate a load of different things, like the amount of settlers you've got, the amount of resources you start with, what season, and that. And it's pretty cool. So we're not going to be making our own scenario. We're going to be starting with A New Life, which is just the basic start. And the one we are going to be going for here. So let's go. So The New Life is our first mode. Now, we go into the scenario here, and you can see that we have a set of locations that we can choose from. So we have hillside, mountain, or valley. So these are like the 3 different type of maps that you can have, and you can choose. You can actually kind of change the seed of the map, so you can actually get different types of locations and different types of terrain, which is pretty cool. But you will always have these like same 3 principle of hill and valley or mountains. But we're going to go for the valley here, because it's quite easy to actually do. And we'll just go on this one here on the bedrock of the mountains. It just looks cool. And you can actually choose your settlement name, which is good. So of course we're going to call ours Stonedville, obviously. I mean, why not? It's where all casual stoners will come and join us in medieval times to consume loads of alcohol and other substances. And you can actually edit your heraldry, which is very nice as well. You can pretty much choose different symbols, you can choose the colours, you can transform everything, rotate, scale, and all that sort of stuff. But I've already done mine. I just like this. It just looked pretty cool, and I ain't really going to bother messing about with that. But if you guys want to, you can definitely do it. Kind of mess around to choose what heraldry you would like. And of course the map size is default size. There's no other kind of bigger map size. The maps aren't massive, but hopefully with the updates they will be kind of adding different map sizes. But anyway, without any further ado, guys, let's get rolling into the scenario. So once we've done this, I actually thought it was going to launch the game then, but I actually forgot that now you have your settlers. So what happens is you have your 3 settlers here. This is what you start off with, and you can actually kind of change the name if you want. You can call them whatever you want to call them. And you can actually see their stats as well, which is very interesting. Now, before we get in, each settler, they have a set of stats, ranging from animal handling all the way down to tailoring, and they each have a level of efficiency in each kind of skill. So the higher they are at a certain skill, or the higher the level in a certain skill, the better they will be while they're doing that job. So, for example, a guy with high construction is going to build things a lot quicker, and he's not going to fail at building stuff. A guy with high culinary, which is cooking, is going to be able to cook more complex stuff, and of course cook at a quicker rate. So it is that is kind of super cool, and they level up as you set them to do activities. And each settler has some kind of skills that they are interested in, depending on the stars. So 2-star very passionate, 1-star passionate, and the skills which they are very passionate in, they have a XP buff for that skill. So if you're, for example, if we get our dear Cedric Murdoch here on construction, since he's passionate about building things, he will gain 2.5 more XP for the skill when he does construction stuff. So that is cool. They also all have a little bit of a background, which gives some traits. So this guy is a wicked cordwainer, which gives him plus 10 tailoring, plus 5 construction, plus 5 botany, and plus 5 smithing. You have a pseudonym, the Thief of Jedburgh. It's like kind of a nickname he's got from like the past that he had before coming here to our new settlement. And they all have like age, their height, their weight, their religious alignment for which kind of one they go to. So goes from left to right, Oak Brethren Zealot to a Devout Oak Brethren. And it's just basically kind of like 2 levels of religious kind of levels in the game. You either go one way or the other, but we'll see that when we get into the game. And they also have a set of perks which can also add a few things. So Cedric is disfigured, apparently, and he is also robust, which gives him extra hit point recovery, plus 10% motor function, and plus 15% wound regeneration. Every settler has the skills, and they vary, and they all have varying perks. Now, we have Linota here as well, and she's got a lot more stuff. She is an astute intellectual. She's good at botany, which is actually really good. And she's quite good at smithing, and she enjoys mining, medicine, marksman, and tailoring. She is elf shot, which gives her excruciating back pains, which gives her minus 5% motor function. She's a gobbler, which gives minus 50% consumption duration, so she basically stuffs herself with food, which makes her eat quickly, because of course in the game, your settlers are going to have to kind of work, they're going to have to eat, and they're going to have to sleep, so when they eat a lot quicker with this. They also have Robust here, she does, which gives us like a load of extra stuff, and she's also an Erudite, which gives her plus 5 intellectual and plus 15% overall XP gain, which is very nice indeed. And the last one here, we have this guy called Edgar, and Edgar is a very good cook, apparently. He's got 20 cook, and he is a whirlwind, which makes him move faster and have better motor functions, but he's also a punch drunk, so yeah, if you share alcohol, he gets angry with him. You can actually change your settlers if you want, you can randomize them, so for example, Edgar here, I'll just kind of randomize the guy. And you'll see, you can randomize his name, sorry, so that randomizes the name, I got it wrong there, but you can actually randomize the whole settler, so if you want to click here and you can see, there we go, it changes the settler, and you can actually keep randomizing until you get something that you kind of want to have. I mean, I'm not really bothered exactly with what I want, so I'm going to keep randomizing until I find something that I think looks good. I'm not really that overly bothered. Yeah, let's just go, probably this one here. Yeah, I'll just do this one. I'm really not bothered, to be honest, which one we've got. So we'll just get her. She's a churl, though, which gives her mood target minus 10%. And she's a gourmet, which she's a pretty decent cook. So why not? We'll just keep her. So these are going to be our 3 settlers to start off with, Cedric, Linota, and Mega. So let's go. So there we go. So now we set up the summary of our game. So you get your settlers, and of course the game difficulty, the scenario we've chosen, and of course the terrain type. Now you can show tutorial tips if you're new, and it does give you a little bit of advice. The tutorial's not really in depth, so it doesn't. It's kind of learn as you play at the moment. I mean, there is some kind of guidance, but it's not necessarily kind of major. But I'm just going to get them off because I've been playing it quite a bit. And let's go. Let's embark on our dear quest. Building a settlement that survives the seasons and survives the raids of numerous bandits. And so, the plague had ravaged the British Isles, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Untold millions went to an early grave, and those left standing were plunged into poverty, brutally scarred by the horrors that they had witnessed. Nothing would ever be the same again. As the earth quickened in the spring of the year 1353, Cedric, Linota, and Mega set off to the wilderness to claim a piece of land as their own, as was their right. In the eyes of God and under the law, here they may lay down the foundations for some kind of future, perhaps hope will follow. Good land is there for the taking in all 4 corners of this once mighty land. Citizens are rebuilding in the hope that the horrors of the past few years can be left behind. Is it possible that they will be fighting drought, sickness, and hunger? But what of it? Life goes on, saith Linota, and so must we. After many travels, they arrived in the valley with golden plains, cut through by a snaking river. So Meg, It conjured visions about the harvest, song and wine, a place to put down roots, a homeland. They decided to call it Stonedville. Let's go. Now, this is in the game, and this is what it's going to actually kind of look like. Now, I do need to quickly change my keyboard layout because I have it on French, because I'm in France, but I need the keyboard layout to be in English so I can actually use the keyboard at the same time. And this is basically an overview of the map. So it's like the plains that we've got here, and the map is, honestly, it's not massive. It's not the biggest map in the world, but it's fine. It's more than enough to do what we want to do. And we have our 3 dudes here that are kind of there. And this is the resources that we start off with to kind of help us. We've got some food, we've got some wood to build stuff. We've got some hay, we've got some like meal packages, some cabbage, healing stuff, parts, a little bit of iron, a little bit of armor and shield and weaponry and stuff to protect ourselves from the elements. And that's basically what you start off with. And the kind of premise of the game is to just build a settlement and survive. This game is unique in the sense that it has layers, and quite a lot of layers. So you've got 16 layers up and 16 layers down. And it allows you to build underground, you can build above ground, and it does add a lot of potential to your building possibilities, which makes it incredibly interesting. And honestly, I can't stress how addictive it is. Once you start off, honestly, you won't put the game down. That is basically how it is. Well, it was for me anyway. And I know that on Steam, it's got a lot of support. If you go to the Steam charts, it's got something like 14 to 15,000 concurrent players. And this is for an early access game from a developer that's not released anything before. This is their first game. And it is honestly staggering numbers. And credit goes to the guys for coming up, for doing this. Because honestly, it is absolutely brilliant. But anyway, first of all, we're going to start off by equipping some of our guys. So I want to see who's got the best melee here, because we've got a sword somewhere, I think. We should have a sword, we do. And I want to see who's got the best melee. You've got 0, you've got 5, and you've got 2. But I am going to give Cedric it, because he is passionate about melee, apparently. Now, if you click on your settlers, you have a load of information here. You can see their background story, of course. You can see what they've got on them. You can see their skills. You can see their attributes. There's a load of attributes. Honestly, it goes right into detail. It's pretty damn crazy. You can see their stats as well. Each settler, they need food, religious activities, entertainment. They need alcohol and sleep. And if they don't really have these needs fulfilled, they'll start to get really peed off in terms of mood here. And once this mood goes down to a certain level, they'll probably leave your settlement. And then, of course, we've got hit points. And this can determine if they are in pain, if they've been wounded. And the wounded system is pretty wicked, because sometimes they can have like minor wounds, like a scratch. Other times you can have an artery that's been cut, and of course you do need to tend to them or they bleed out. But honestly, it is super, super difficult. But then we're going to give this Cedric guy the shield and sword for the moment, because he is proficient. Well, he's passionate about melee. He maybe not be good at it, but I will give it him for the moment. So you're going to pick that up. Just kind of right-click on it, and he picks it up. Same for the Gambeson. We'll give him the Gambeson here, just because he's going to be like fighting in case anyone does come. And we'll get to pick up the short sword. But the next thing we need to do is see if we've got a marksman. And the marksman is going to be for hunting, and you do want to give them... Ooh, got 16 on marksman. That is pretty damn good, I have to say. Do I want to give it... I think I want to give it a Meg. She may not be passionate about it, but she is pretty damn good with the marksman. Marksman affects your kind of proficiency with ranged weapons, and that is pretty damn good. So, luckily for us here, we have 2 bows. We have a good short bow and a sturdy long bow. Now, she's got at least 10 marksman skills, so she can equip it. Now, for certain weapons, you're going to need to have certain kind of skill levels in their attributes in order to do it. Luckily for us, Mega here can equip that, which is really good. And Linotta, she's a decent marksman as well. She's not a decent marksman, but she has the passionate about marksmanship, so she can equip a good short bow here, which is pretty damn good. So that's actually fairly decent. So we'll take that. Now this is done, we're going to need to try and lay the foundations of our very first kind of area. So what I think we're going to want to do is try and find some form of area that we can build our main kind of square or center. Now this is a pretty decent area, and of course we don't have a stockpile yet. Now before we actually start off, I think it's pretty good for me to showcase you what we have. So here, this is the construction tabs all the way down here. So you've got base stuff, and you can build walls. You have different varieties, so you can just click on the whatever you want to build, and you have different variants depending on the materials that you have. So I can build a wooden wall, a clay wall, or a limestone wall. Same for the floor, you have wooden wall, wicker wall, or limestone floor. Same for the doors, same for the windows, stairs, and everything, and the roofs as well. There's a load of different varieties that you can build. And then the next one, you have the production buildings, of course, butchering table, campfire, research tables, all sort of stuff. You do get more. You can unlock more buildings through research, but we can't do that just yet because we need a basic research table to unlock the research tab here. And then you can actually research different technologies that give you access to better buildings, better craftable materials and stuff. So we're going to be wanting to get one of them fairly soon. You have furniture here, of course. This is stuff for you to sit down, like kind of furnish your homes. It's quite important, really, because tables, you can use them with chairs, and of course the settlers, they sit down to eat from the chair, from the table with the chairs, and it gives them a like bonus to their kind of food eating. So they gain more out of it because they, instead of eating standing, they're sitting down properly and eating. And these like little details that are really cool. Leisure, of course, so you've got the shrines, your different religious stuff. So you've got Restitutionist Shrine or Brethren Shrine. These are the two religious types in the game. Each kind of settler goes towards the Restitutionalist or the Brethren's. So you're going to need to build both depending on like what kind of religion or faith the other settlers follow. And then you've got backgammon table. This is for entertainment. Again, you can unlock more entertainment buildings, I think, down the line in the tech. I can't remember exactly, but you need these to kind of provide entertainment to keep the mood up. Then you got misc, and this is pretty cool because you get pyres, of course, to burn bodies. Because if your settlers die, then well, you're going to need to either burn them or bury them. Same if you kill some bandits that are coming to attack you, you're going to need to either bury them or burn them. You've got fences, banners, you can unlock more with tech again. Warfare, so this is like the defensive walls, so you can put them at the top of walls to kind of protect your archers from firing. And you've got traps and stuff as well to kind of make the enemy walk into them and they get spiked. And then, of course, you've got these stockpiles, and you have 3 different variants. So you've got default stockpile where you can stockpile everything, and you can actually set what you want to stockpile, which is pretty cool. And you have the dumping stockpile where waste is stored because there's waste in the game. If food rots, it becomes waste. If you cook stuff, you have ashes, which is waste. And then you have warfare stockpile to stockpile weapons and armor. But anyway, now we've pretty much gone through this. The first thing we need to do is check at the jobs. Now, this is what is really, really good, and this allows you to set the priority level at what your settlers are going to do. Now, you do need to pay attention to this and try to set depending on what they are proficient at. So what I tend to do is pretty much look for what they are passionate about. So we've got Mega here who's passionate about cooking. She may not be the best one in cooking, but she's passionate about it. So her first priority is going to be to cook food for the settlers, which is going to be vital. The next part, she's pretty good at cutting plants down, or she's proficient, not good, but she's proficient. I mean, Lenotta here has got a hell of a lot of proficiency in cutting plants, but she is proficient here because she's got the star, so we're passionate about it. So we'll put the cutting plants on the second job, and then we'll put harvest and grow. Same thing, kind of all to do with botany. And then we'll kind of put haul on the 3, and you're basically ranking them at the level of importance. So level 1, it's like kind of high priority importance or the maximum priority. 2 will just come after the 1, then 3 after the 2, and so on. So we'll get off 10, we'll up that to 4. Convalescence as well, don't need that. You're not going to be hunting for us, Meg. That's not your job. Construct, maybe. What's her construction? Nah, that's going to be for Cedric, I think. So I'll leave construction on 3. We'll also put mine on 4. Don't want you to mine, craft, smithing, carpentry, tailoring. I might keep tailoring on 3 for the moment. Not that we're going to need it. Research, are you good? No, you've got bad intellectual stuff, so put that up, stew it up, and we'll keep haul on 3. That haul is basically moving goods from one area to different stockpiles, depending on what you set the stockpiles for. So I want to keep that. The next one we're going to need to do is Lenotta Willoughby, and she's very good at mining. She's actually really good at mining, actually. But she's proficient at marksmanship, so I am going to put you on hunt. And of course, we need to hunt animals. Now, there is animals all around the map. There's like deer at the moment and rabbits. I think that's all there is. There's no other types of animals. There's no bears, no wolves or anything. So you've got some deer here. And you can hunt them for food and you can butcher them and then, of course, kind of cook them. So we're going to put you on high proficient. We're going to put you on like hunting for your main job. Mining is going to be your second because you are passionate about mining, and you never know what we might need to do that with. 10, I'll keep it a 3. What else are you good at, Lenotta? She's good at intellectual stuff. She's pretty good at intellectual stuff, so I am going to put research as well as 1. Because when she's not hunting, I'm going to want her to research, because research is super important for the tech. Maybe, what next is she pretty good at? She's pretty good at smithing. Yeah, I think that's all we really need. I might actually keep 10 on 3 because that's quite useful. I'll put it at 2. It's quite good at that, actually. We'll put convalesce at 3. Construct, leave it at 3. Grow, we'll put that up. You're not going to be growing stuff for us. But plants, I'm going to leave at 3 because botany, you're pretty good at it, to be honest. I mean, I could actually leave... I know what, I'm going to leave these on 3 down here. Construct, I'll probably put this one, leave it on 3. Or I'll actually put it on 2. Do I want to put it on 2? No, we'll leave it on 3. We'll leave it on 3. Loose hall gets steward up, we don't need that. Tailoring, I'll leave it on that. Carpentry, smithing, I'll put it up for the moment. I can always move stuff afterwards. And cooking, it's not going to be your job. So that seems to be fine for me. I'm pretty good with that. And Cedric next, you're going to be constructing first. You're going to be the main builder guy, of course. Good at animal handling, tailoring. You're not very good at much. He's pretty average on everything. So I'm going to want him for construct. We're going to want him to haul. We're going to want him to probably cut stuff. Well, probably harvest if we can. And up for 10, convalesce. Don't want you to hunt. Don't want you to cook. Not going to be your job. Actually, yeah, I'll leave cook on 3. We'll get craft up, smithing up, carpentry up, tailoring up, research don't need, and steward as well. Okay, that's good. So that kind of sets it all out, and I'm quite happy with that. Up next here, you need to do is manage, like, here you can actually manage your kind of settler guys, so you can see what they've got equipped, see if they've got any headgear, see if they've got any armor, manage the food, what they consume, what they drink, and all that sort of stuff, but we don't need to do that at the moment. The schedule here is pretty damn important, so you need to set the work hours, sleep hours, and leisure hours. Now, the settlers need to sleep to be kind of operational, they need to have fun, or otherwise they're going to be in a pretty bad mood. So we need to kind of make sure that all this is set up fairly well. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you some work hours. So you're going to sleep from 11 o'clock at night till 4 in the morning. That's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 hours sleep is more than enough. I'm going to up the work hours to the max here, and then what I'll do, I'll fill in leisure time afterwards, which is going to be super duper important. So leisure time, we then need to fill this in. So they need 2 sets of leisure time during the day. So I'm going to put from 12 to 1, where hopefully they're going to have a bit of leisure time, and then we'll put 9 till 10. Okay, so then that kind of splits it up. Now, what I'll do is once we get a pair, like an even number of settlers, I'll make sure the leisure time is split into different kind of hours. So 2 will be 12 till 1, and another one will be maybe 2 till 5. And we'll put 2 on 12 till 1 and 2 on 2 till 3. And that what will happen is that it means that they're not all taking leisure at the same time, so we're not having any downtime where work can be done. And that's my recommendation. But since we don't have 4 yet, we'll leave it like that. That seems to be fairly good. Now, that is done. We can actually start moving or kind of doing what we need to do. Actually, have you picked up your sword? Yep, you're picking that up. That's good. So they've all got the stuff. And now you'll notice there's hands above these goods. This means no one can use them. So what you need to do is select them, then click toggle allow. That means the settlers will then be allowed to use these items. You want to do that, otherwise they ain't going to be using them. They're going to be staying there, and they're not going to use them to eat. They're not going to use them to construct. They're not going to be using them for anything. So you want to make sure that these have been ticked, and it can actually build stuff. So the first thing we're going to need to do is definitely try and chop down some trees and gain some area where we can actually build maybe a kind of mini square to store our wood resources and stuff. So we'll chop this down here. This seems to be a good area to do. So we'll chop this. I think I'll be happy with that. And now we'll start. So now you'll see that our guys are going to go and start chopping. And they're going to start doing the work that we've assigned to them. And of course down here, by the way, I completely forgot to mention, but this is where you assign the tasks. So chop to chop down trees, cut plants to cut like shrubs and stuff, deconstruct to deconstruct something, build, cancel anything you've selected. Harvest is to gather berries, because there are berries and mushrooms you can gather. Mine is to mine, and hunt is to hunt. So for hunt, you need to click on that, select an animal which you want to hunt, and then it will go and hunt it. That's how that works. So we'll up the speed, because don't need to kind of keep it on speed, like slow speed. It's going to be too slow otherwise. So these guys are going to be chopping all this down, just making a little bit of room, and then we'll try and get some form of storage going. So, let's get the storage. So you've chopped all that down. We'll get some kind of mini storage square, I think, here. That's going to be pretty damn good. So we're going to go with the build. And then we go for, of course, a floor. Now, I want to put a floor down so we can properly have a decent storage area. So this is going to try and make this the center of what we've got. So I probably want to make it 8 out of 8, maybe. I mean, it would be a decent middle ground, I think, for that. So we'll pop that down there. So that's the wooden floor that we're going to be building. Then we'll kind of put maybe that like that. I want to kind of make it a kind of open shelter. I don't want to kind of lock it off because it's only to put wood and hay that we're going to be used for construction. And we'll put maybe a thatched roof on this thing at some point. But I can't at the moment because we need beams. So for that, we're going to have the research bench in order to unlock the beams. So if you want to build layers, And if you want to build roofs over stuff, you're going to have beam supports. And we can't here at the moment because it's too wide, but we need beams to support the roof. So we'll just do that for the moment. And what's going to happen is the guy with the sign normally on construction is going to be building this. While that is happening, what we're going to want to do is I want to quickly kind of keep chopping all the stuff down here to try and get as much resources as we can ready for construction. If we have them already, then it's going to be good. So once we've got the storage going, or the basic storage, what we're going to need is we're going to need to probably go for a basic form of shelter so we can get our guys to sleep at night in some form of protective housing. Of course, you don't want to let them sleep outside because of the mercy of the elements and stuff. And I mean, at the moment it's spring, so it's not that much of a problem. So I'm not really worried about it. Well, coming back to the game, the art style, it looks really cool. Honestly, the low poly kind of style they've got going, it really goes well with the type of game. It really does. Now here you can see we've got nowhere to store resources, of course. We don't have a stockpile. We don't have enough beds, and food reserves on stockpile low. Now this is a bit like kind of misleading because it says food reserves on stockpile low because we haven't got any of the food. So we've got some packaged meals and some cabbage, but none of it is on a stockpile. So for it to be counted as food stored in reserve, you need them to be on the stockpile. At the moment, they're not. So now we've got the kind of basic kind of middle square here. We're going to go for the... Under this now, we're going to build, of course, the storage. And for this, we shall click on the build... actually, no, we'll go to the storage zone here. And this is where we're going to want to build like this so we can actually store this stuff. And on this here now, this is where they're going to be putting wood. Now, you can choose what they want. Just click on it, and you can choose what you want to store. So here we're going to clear all. We're going to want to go into material. Actually, it's not material. It is material. So we're going to want to go to material, and we're going to want to go all the way down. We're going to want wood, sticks, and of course, hay, if we can find that. All this is going to be stored here. This is going to be like building, like wood, sticks, and hay. Just like stuff to build and burn. So we'll have that. And then over this, we'll build a small, like, kind of wooden roof, I think, on it at some point to hopefully kind of get that all under cover. We don't want to kind of have it in the open. And as you can see the workers' skills going up as they're working. So now that is done, we're going to need to try and get some form of building going. So first thing we're going to do, I think, is try and get some form of shelter. Now, I'm going to try and build something around this first, and probably try and work around this middle kind of square here. So let's go... Probably going to want to have... I don't want to go there, do I? So probably go here. I mean, we've got 7. I want to make it like even, so we've got 8 squares there. I think that's pretty damn good. 8 squares. I'll take 8 squares. That's fine. And I want to make something maybe in an L shape, I think. So 8, maybe 8 on 6, maybe? Or 8 on 8, I would think. Yeah, 8 on 8. Which is good. It's quite big, because I want to have something that's big enough so it can actually put some stuff. Or do I want to go 8 on 10? 8 on 10, I think. I didn't want to have a little bit of extra room, so do that. And we'll go all the way down to here. We'll go all the way over there. Then what we'll do is we'll kind of get this up. Of course, we'll kind of make sure that that is kind of locked that way. I will build a door afterwards. I just want to kind of make it in a like form of an L shape. And then what we'll do is we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 up, and or maybe 5 up, I think. Yeah, like this. Yeah, this works for me. Yeah, we'll do that. So that's going to be the basic shape of our first house. I'm more than happy with that. And now what we're going to do, we need to chop this tree down in the way here. I don't really want that there. That's going to be interesting. So we'll chop that down. And then we need to build this thing. So, of course, we're going to get some windows, we'll get some doors. So I reckon the entrance is going to be here. We'll put it in the middle there. I think that's pretty cool. So, I'm going to build this here. Which way is the doorknob? Doorknob is this way. Put it there. We'll do a double door because it looks cool that way, I think. We'll have that as the main entrance. I would think would be good. Maybe main entrance. And it's going to be like the main room, I think. And then we'll have like bedrooms over on this side. So we'll do that. Then, of course, I'm going to want to get probably a door in the middle here, just so we can get through access to that, which is what I'm going to want. I want a door out this side. You'll see why later on. I want to build some kind of like smokehouse patio later on. You'll see what smokehouses are a bit later on. Now we need the windows, so we'll make it all look... I mean, this is where you'll probably see my OCD kick in a little bit. I do like kind of making things look pretty, and this is one of the main like kind of pulls to this game, is that if you like making things look pretty, then you can definitely do it. I mean, really. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 7. So let's just kind of put one in the middle here, I think. Put one there. Probably try and put a beam across this at some point. So put one there so we can actually have some light, some windows coming in, and then we're going to have one maybe here, and 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I'll put one there and one there. That's pretty damn good. And of course we'll follow the same thing on the other side. I will split them. I will definitely like split this into different rooms. I think I can definitely kind of split it. But I can always rearrange it if I want to rearrange it at some point. I'm not overly bothered about that. So let's go. So now our guys are going to be building this. Hopefully we can get this done within the day. I mean, I hope we can. I'm not going to build a roof on this thing just yet because I don't want to make it multiple story. So we can actually house more than one person. And I wonder where I'm going to build the stairs though. That is a good question. I don't really know where I'm going to build the stairs. I mean, I suppose I could build it this way. Build it up in this section. I suppose I could, but I could build it there, but that's kind of blocking everything. So what if I have to kind of... I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. I can always build another proper house if I wanted to at some point. So now they're making a lovely looking house here, and of course you can see they're already trying to kind of move some stuff. So what will happen is these resources that we've chopped and the stuff on the stockpile that I've allowed here, they're going to start dragging it down and they're going to start placing it over there. So that's pretty damn good. I don't think we're going to be able to get the house done before night falls, but that's not really much of a problem, honestly. I'm not worried about it. I'm really not worried about it. So we're going to make this as like the main living area. I'll probably get a table over here. Definitely get a table. Probably get a research table as well at some point over on this side. And this I'll probably split into 3 bedrooms. You'll see why I want to make multiple bedrooms. Because if you go over here, show overlay of rooms, and you can actually make room types. So for example, if I wanted to make a single bedroom here, what I would need is basically one hay bed or a hay sleeping spot in one room. If I do this, whoever sleeps here enjoys the peace and quiet of their own quarters, which means they get a bigger buff when they sleep, so they kind of sleep better, and of course they recover faster. So that's why I want to kind of make some separate units of bedrooms here, which is going to be quite important. And then I don't really know what... I mean, I'll just kind of build stuff on the fly. We'll see what happens. We'll see where we go. We'll just kind of build it and expand on what we've got as we go along, I think. And I want to check something. Can I stop building stuff here? No, I can't. I would like to know if I could actually kind of build a wall, but then, like, not get anyone to build it so I can actually do the layout of something. But oh well. So there we go. So now that's done. So what we're going to do now is quickly, before I think time runs out, we're just going to get some... Yeah, we'll probably get the wall there, I think. I mean, maybe... Yeah, that's probably split too much there, but... Fine. I mean, you're not going to have too much of a window. Yeah, I don't think I've actually... So what we've got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11... Yeah, I've not got an even number, which is a shame. So one room is going to be slightly smaller than the other. But I'm not overly bothered about it. Or do I actually want to make a separate set of rooms? That is a good question. You know what? I might not do that yet. I'll probably just do that later on. We don't really need to worry about that at this point in time. By the way, if you actually want to kind of cancel stuff like that, just click on cancel and drag. And you can actually cancel whatever you want to do. Cancel this that way, which is fine. Yeah, I'll just leave this as an open space for now, I think. And we'll get some beds in. So let's go with the hay sleeping spot, which is going to be what we're going to want to have. And I'll probably pop one. I can definitely, you know what, I'm going to pop one here. We'll kind of pop them next to each other. Probably one on the other side. Kind of make it we'll make it a communist bunk bedroom. We'll get 3 in there. That's fine. And then I have extra room for some extra buildings and stuff, so we'll do that. So then we've got the door here where they can come out of. That's pretty good. I do want to make something here later on. You'll see what it is. So yeah, we'll just make some kind of communist quarters. That works for me for the moment. It does. Oh no, they're actually sleeping on the stockpile since you've got no beds. Yeah, time's gone. Yep. So they're sleeping on the stockpile, which is interesting. Oh well. Poor guys. They're sleeping out in the open on the stockpile. Well, there's nothing we can do with that. I feel slightly sorry for them. I really do. What we'll work on next, we'll work on making this living quarters habitable. And then what we probably need to do is maybe focus on some underground storage for food. Now, this is where it gets really interesting because temperature depends on how fast your food rots when you do have food. And storing it underground is obviously cooler than storing it above ground. So if you store it underground, then the food decomposes at a slower rate, which is very, Very good. So we're going to want to make some kind of cellar. And I'll probably try and make a specialist cellar room. Apparently we've got someone that's idle, but that's fine. We'll kind of stop that pretty quickly. Let's get some... I don't want a research table fairly quickly. And I'm very tempted to just get this one over here on this side of the room. I really am. So we're going to just pop this here. We'll get like a small research table. We need to actually start researching stuff. And what we're going to do is I want to make a stockpile where I can actually store some of the books that we're going to be making. I'll make a kind of small area here just opposite, because of course for what happens for researchers, you produce books, you get a scribe that works on writing stuff, and it's basically technology, and with that you can actually kind of spend it to augment research. But once we build that, I'll be able to show you guys exactly what it's like. So again, I'm just going to kind of clear everything, and we'll just only use this to assign the book. So go books here, and we'll just click it, and now all is going to be assigned here is book. The next thing we'll do is I think we'll probably work on maybe some form of kind of eating area. So, I mean, I could build this massive table in the middle here, which would actually be fairly good. And could I build that there like that, like the big hall? But I could probably get a backgammon table in one of the corners here. I mean, there's no reason why I can't. Maybe down on this side. I can fit that down there, so they've got a backgammon table. And then what we can do is just sit a certain amount of stools here. So we'll have like 3 like that. That seems to be pretty cool. We'll get a brazier as well in the corner of the room, I think. Because this does produce heat, and it's going to be useful in the winter when you're going to want to have like an area where you can actually get a little bit of heat. So we'll build that there. That seems to be pretty good. I don't think I have clay at the moment, but we do have some lying around normally, if I can actually find any. Here's a little bit of clay here, so we're authorized to pick it up, and they should be able to take that, and we can use it to build our brazier there, which is now blue, because you can actually build it. If it's blue, it means you've got the resources to build the damn thing. Now the kind of major structure is done, I'll just quickly show you for the roof. I don't think I can actually build it, because it actually supports pretty well. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to want to go for a roof here, and get a roof over these guys' heads. We'll go for a thatch roof here. And then we'll go for a thatch roof on this side as well, like this. Okay, that looks rather cool. Honestly, it looks like a really nice little funky house. I'm happy with that. That's really nice. But anyway, I'm going to end the episode here, people. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't stress how addictive this game is and how I've been enjoying it so much. And credit to the devs for making something like this, because I love colony sim games and like resource management and survivals. It's just all mixed together. It's just really, really damn cool. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where they're going to take this with the future updates and stuff. Of course, if you're enjoying this, then please do not hesitate to smash that like button down below. If you want to see some more content like this, then of course, please do consider subscribing to the channel for more. And with that said and done, thank you so much for joining me. And I'll hopefully catch you all in the next one. Bye for now.